Longtime viewers of Mark Reviews will tell you that I've done a lot of book reviews, and it's not because I'm some great reader, it's really because I like Audible and I listen to audiobooks on my commute. That being said, allow me to introduce a book that is best consumed by not consuming it. Okay? Let me explain. You don't need to read this book, you don't need to listen to this book, but you do have to buy this book. What book am I talking about? Well, it's right here. And no management or leadership library would quite be complete without StrengthsFinder. And this is StrengthsFinder 2.0, just the latest edition of it. The reason that you have to buy this book, even if you don't listen to it or read it, is for one reason and one reason only. This back page here that says, this packet contains your unique access code to the StrengthsFinder 2.0 assessment and website. This book is really just explanations of each of the categories that they can put you in after you take this comprehensive and pretty exhaustive and exhausting quiz about yourself. But in order to get access to the quiz on the website, you have to buy this book, because each book comes with a unique code and you can't share it and you can't reuse it. So it's a little bit disingenuous to call this the #1 Wall Street Journal bestseller. It's because people have to buy this book to get what the real value proposition is, which is the quiz and the results and what it tells you about yourself. Okay, that was my mini rant about the marketing practices of this. But Donald O. Clifton, the guy on the back here, came up with, he's really kind of recognized as the father of strengths-based psychology. So there are a lot of self-help books and even management books, some of which I have, that tell you to kind of identify what your weaknesses are and try to focus on those and improve them. Well, another way to approach kind of this self-help genre is to say, I can't really do much about the things I'm weak in, so why don't I focus on my strengths and just be the best at that thing? So I think the best idea is somewhere in the middle, right? You don't want to neglect your faults or your weaknesses. You want to fix those, and you don't want to be over-domineering and things with your strengths either. So somewhere in the middle is probably the best space to operate in. That's what I try to do, at least. Anyway, StrengthsFinder 2.0 was pretty illustrative. So I was talking to some coworkers and they had just gone through this. Their manager bought them all copies of it, had them go through it. I just went out and got my own because I kind of wanted to know what my strengths are. And if you're like me, you probably have some suspicions. You did kind of a career guidance counselor test when you were a kid in high school that told you, you need to be this in your life, an accountant, a reporter, a firefighter, whatever. That's kind of an element of what this is. It asks you a lot of different questions and asks you to choose, what you would do or what's more important to you. And then based on that, it spits out what it thinks your strengths are. So I took the quiz and you get your top 5 strengths, and here are mine. See if you have identified these characteristics in me. Number 1, responsibility. Number 2, connected. Ugh, I can't even say it. Number 2, connectedness. Number 3, woo, the ability to influence other people. Number 4, communication. Number 5, arranger. So I knew a lot of these about myself already. I'm the oldest of 6 kids. I have this sense of responsibility at work, at home, even to my YouTube family and audience here. The reason I update so regularly and upload videos so faithfully is because I feel like I have a responsibility to continue to share and produce content, because that's kind of what I've committed myself to. I don't owe it to anybody. I just feel like I have to do it. So connectedness, right? I latched onto social media early on, like when Facebook required a .edu address and you had to be a college student. I had a Facebook account back then. So I've been on Facebook for 11 and a half years at this point. That's a long time. Okay, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, or whatever. I like them to varying degrees, but all of that is kind of out of a sense of connectedness. But even more so, I love connecting with people in person or through YouTube, right? This is my latest craze and addiction. So that makes sense to me too. Woo, or the ability to kind of influence others or persuade others or things, this isn't like trying to seduce someone or something, and it's not trying to pull the wool over their eyes and get them to do what you want them to do, but it's really the ability to help them feel like you understand them and you have their best interest in mind, and you want the best for them, which is great. I mean, I'm in management in my job, so that's kind of important. Communication. I majored in broadcast journalism in school. I worked in TV and radio. Now I do YouTube. I'm all about communication. Most of my videos are not rehearsed. I don't have a script. I just talk, and it comes out this well because that's who I am. That's how I'm wired. Okay, an arranger has more to do with like coordinating things and seeing the big picture and things like that. So it's number 5, and it's in my top 5, but it's not my number 1. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I wrote down the date that all of those things took place. So in the future, if I do this again, I can see if anything has changed. I suspect it won't. But once you identify what your strengths are, you can come and there's a whole chapter and you can learn more about how to work with those strengths and make them even stronger. You know, what kinds of projects or jobs or things might play into your strengths that you might excel at better than ones that are some of your weakest spots. So definitely some things to learn about yourself. The quiz, I think, took me close to an hour. I really deliberated some of those, and it's not timed, really. There is kind of a time limit to get you to like make a gut decision instead of really hyper and microanalyze every single question. So I don't know. It is what it is. I've been talking about this with my father-in-law recently. He has latched onto some of this strengths psychology type stuff. There are a lot of TED Talks about this. So this is good as an introduction, kind of baby stepping into strengths psychology and how to get the most out of your strengths and leverage that to benefit you the best. So I will leave a link in the description below to where you can pick up a copy of Strengths Finder. Again, you have to buy the book to get the code to go online and take the quiz. So kind of a roundabout way of doing it, but I recommend it. I think it's worthwhile. Price point is right. You know, this book isn't exorbitantly priced, so go check it out. Strengths Finder 2.0, and link in the description below. Let me know what your strengths are, especially if you take this quiz and you actually know for sure what your strengths are. I'd love to know kind of what my audience has in common. So leave your comments in the section below. Link in the description to where you can buy this on Amazon. This would be a good gift for anyone in your life who, you know, leadership, management, or just kind of enjoys psychology or leadership type books. I recommend it. Okay. Click this link to subscribe to this channel, and you can be wooed by my communication. I commit to you to be an arranger, right? Okay. And on this side, check out some of the other reviews that I've done. And thank you for subscribing. One of my strengths is you.